Just tell you, I went from being a really, really healthy, person my whole life through college, medical school even. And then you start, being a resident, you're like living in a hospital. I mean, I became unhealthy quick. I did. I put on, whatever it was, 35, 40 pounds. Within a year and a half, eating ice cream and cafeteria food and not getting good sleep and chronic stress and okay, that was driving me to a very bad place. Like, does anybody think that if that's how my life was how old was I? 26 or whatever it was. Like, does anybody think that if I would have stayed on a course like that I wouldn't have a blood sugar problem now, that I wouldn't be significantly overweight, that I wouldn't get type 2 diabetes? Of course I would. But I don't have type 2 diabetes, right? I turned that around. I got a handle on everything. I learned how to fast. I eat only the healthiest foods. I'm very active, right? So I'm just saying there are branch points in these stories, right? The stories of our lives. The decisions we make have real impact on our life, right? This is part of it. People don't want to judge people, which I don't want to do either, right? It's the easy course to say that type 2 diabetes is a disease for many people. It absolves them of any personal responsibility to do anything about it. And it's just accepting the defeat. If you just accept it that, well, this is a disease, there's nothing I can do about it, then it absolves you of any personal responsibility to change it. You don't have to change, right? You can just take the pill, you don't have to change. And then, I think a lot of people in medicine, they don't want to confront people. They don't want to challenge people. They don't want to tell people, hey, I mean, even to me, to say it, I would never say this. Listen, I'm here in this space, I'm just exploring these thoughts. But to tell someone like, this is your fault, right? Well, that's so harsh. That feels awful for me to say. I would never say something like that. Yet, right? At the root of these things, we do have personal responsibility for the decisions that we make, and the decisions that we make create the situation, right? If I had personally given up in residency, I had said, look at this situation. This is what happens to a human being. This is how our society is. I guess I'm just going to have to buy the bigger clothes. I'm going to have to do this. And I say, because it's more important to me to keep eating ice cream and these things than to do it. Okay. And then the crazy thing of it is no one would ever have called me on it. Like I could sit here, I currently weigh 150 pounds. I could be sitting here at 280 pounds. Nobody say a single thing to me about it, Okay, but now I'm here. I got way upstream of this process. I never developed the type 2 diabetes. And thank God for that. But I could have. I could do it right now if I wanted to. Do you ever see that movie, Super Size Me, where the guy just goes on a McDonald's binge for like months in a row and you just watch him put all the weight on? And, I could replicate that right now. Any of us could, right? We could go out there and we could create it by making choices. Okay, and so then we can uncreate it, or we can choose not to create it, or someone who is in this scenario can choose to make different choices. This is what I want to help people do, but not to judge anyone, right? Because what I've tried to outline in this space and what I'm trying to show is that we are in large measure reflections of our society. This is why it's not judgmental, right? And this is why approaching it in this way it's the opposite of judgmental, right? It's actually the mindset that will help turn it all around, right? Is to tell people, look, we are all in a very, very messed up, messy, complicated, difficult situation, right? We are human beings who are like, nobody has existed in a time like this, right? With stimulating technology and the ability for transnational corporations to market us with hundreds of billions of dollars of marketing, flooding devices like that are on our personal selves all the time, and pushing this consumption culture on us all the time. Like this, whatever primitive brain or whatever, it is not normal to have to deal with this sort of situation. This is how we have compassion, right? We have to have compassion for ourselves. We have to have compassion for people who are dealing with these issues. It is not compassionate to tell someone that they're helpless. This is it, right? It feels difficult to tell someone, hey, you have to take responsibility for this. You have to take responsibility for your actions. That feels hard. That's a difficult space to be in. That's why we don't want to do it. Maybe that's why I haven't really dove into it on this channel, because it's like dance around it. Everybody's doing it. It's not compassionate to lie to people though, right? It's not compassionate to withhold truth from people. It's not compassionate to keep people living in a delusion, or to tell people that, oh, you'll never be healthy when they could be. This is what is so frustrating. Radically better health is possible for people. And then you go into a doctor, maybe you're unhealthy, you're insulin resistant and overweight, and all these things are bad. And you go to a doctor, they'll say, oh, you're fine, because they don't want to have a difficult, scenario. How many times does that happen? Everybody just trying. How many times have I done it? I'm not even saying I don't do it, right? I'm a primary care doctor just trying to get through the day for years and years and years of feeling overwhelmed. See, this is the society. This is the culture. We have to change that thinking. It is not helpful or nice or compassionate to avoid talking about difficult things because we don't want to offend someone. You really want to help someone, you have to show them the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth is difficult. If we really want to help someone, you got to throw them the life raft. The life raft for type 2 diabetes that is not a lifetime of expensive drugs with side effects and other things is the basic free lifestyle processes that we're saying. And I think fasting the most powerful to bring it back home.